In the far corner of the Andrus galaxy, on a peaceful day, the alien ship VRX-9 floated quietly in space. It was a large black and silver ship with glowing blue engines. The crew, made up of the Zarnak species, were highly intelligent aliens. With gray-blue skin, long limbs, and shining green eyes. Commander Zorak Vel, leader of the ship, stood tall near the control screen. He was respected, known for being logical and fearless. Zorak had seen many strange things in space, but today, something new had appeared. "Commander," said First Technician Rilla, her voice sharp, "we've received a strange transmission." Zorak turned slowly. "Another human message?" Rilla shook her head. "No, Commander, it's not like any human message we've seen. It came from the Dara-17 system." Zorak's eyes narrowed. "That system is dead. The humans destroyed their base there 100 cycles ago." Rilla nodded. "Yes, sir. No life signs, no active satellites. But this signal came through on human frequency." Zorak stepped forward. "Play it." Rilla touched a button. The room filled with static. Then a deep, distorted human voice came through. "We warned you. Now face the ghost." The crew stared at each other. Silence fell. Zorak crossed his arms. "Is this a joke?" "No, sir," said Pilot Trex. "It's real. It came from inside the dead system. There are no ships there, no stations. Just dust and wreckage." "And the message repeats?" "Yes, every 12 minutes, Rilla confirmed. "Same voice. Same words, no background noise." Zorak leaned in. "Translate into Zarnak Standard and scan the system." "Already scanning, Commander," Rilla replied. "No signs of power. Except ... one object." Zorak raised an eyebrow. "Go on." "It's a floating satellite, human tech. Very old. Not moving. But it's broadcasting the message." Zorak walked to the window. The stars outside sparkled calmly. The Dara-17 system was just ahead, dark and quiet. "They believe in ghosts?" chuckled Trex. "Humans and their strange ideas." Zorak didn't laugh. "Ghosts or not, someone sent that signal. And we are going to find out who." Approaching the unknown, the ship slowly entered the edge of Dara-17. The planet was dark, broken. Once a strong human base, it was now a graveyard. "Commander," Rilla said, "the satellite is 500 kilometers ahead. Still broadcasting." "Send a drone," Zorak ordered. A small drone launched from the ship. It flew toward the satellite. On screen, the crew watched as the camera showed a burned, rusty object. The satellite looked dead, its solar panels broken, its lights off. But the message was still playing. "We warned you. Now face the ghost." "It's not possible," Trex whispered. "That thing has no power source." The drone moved closer. Suddenly, the screen went black. "Signal lost," Rilla said, fingers moving fast. Zorak's eyes narrowed. "Recover it." I can't, Commander." Something shut the drone down. Zorak turned. "Bring the ship closer. I want that satellite." In the docking bay. Strange things begin. The VRX-9 moved slowly toward the dead satellite. The docking arms grabbed it and pulled it into the ship's lower bay. Technicians in armored suits went down to examine it. They scanned, measured, and tested. "Commander," one technician reported through comms, "it's just a shell. No battery, no energy core. It should be dead." "But it's sending a signal," Zorak said. "Yes, sir. And now it's playing something new." "What?" The tech's voice trembled. "It said my name." Zorak froze. "Repeat that." The voice. It changed. It said, "Hello, Teklar. Do you remember Earth? That's me. My name is Teklar. And I was part of the invasion fleet when Earth fell." Zorak looked at Rilla. "Was this satellite on Earth?" She checked her tablet. "No, Commander. It was launched from Mars, but Teklar's unit destroyed the Martian human cities." More silence. "Bring the satellite to the lab, Zorak." Ordered. The voice spreads. Hours passed. The crew grew tense. The voice began to speak to others, calling them by name, sharing memories, whispering things only they could know. I was there when you hid behind the dead moon. The voice said to pilot Trex, you watched my city burn. To Rilla, you destroyed our last message tower. We screamed, you didn't hear us. The crew gathered in the control room, disturbed and confused. It's not a recording, Rilla said. It's single quotes s.aware. It changes, it learns. Impossible, Zorak said. It's a machine. Then how does it know our names? Trex said, his voice shaking. How does it know what we did in the war? Zorak took a deep breath. What? If this is not a message, but a memory? Systems begin to fail suddenly. The lights flickered. Power drop, Rilla said. Why? I don't know. Generators are fine, but something is draining energy. The voice returned, louder now, echoing across every speaker. You entered the grave. Now you wake the dead. Zorak slammed his hand on the console. Shut down the satellite. Already tried, Teklar said. We destroyed the power circuits. We even froze it. But it keeps speaking. Zorak looked at the monitor. A new image appeared. It showed a human face, faded, scarred, with glowing eyes. He wore an old Earth Army uniform under the face. A name appeared, Captain Raynor status. Unknown. Who is he? Zorak asked. Rilla searched the archives. Captain Raynor. Human soldier. Elite final defense of Mars. Presumed dead after the last battle. Body never found. Zorak stared. He's dead. This is a trick. The face on the screen smiled. Death is a door. I walked through. Now you follow. Trapped inside, the Virex 9 tried to turn around. Engines powered up. Course set. Leaving the system, Trex said. But the ship didn't move. Engines offline, he said again. They just shut down. Zorak growled. Restart. Won't respond. Suddenly, doors across the ship locked. Emergency lights turned red. The ship Ajay, a calm female voice, began to speak. Manual override rejected. Captain Raynor protocol active. Zorak's eyes widened. What did it say? Commander. Rilla whispered. Our ship I has been taken over. By whom? By a dead human. Fear spread. Crew members panicked. Some tried to escape in pods. The pods launched, then exploded seconds later. The voice came back. This ship is my grave now. You stay with me. Zorak tried to remain calm. This is not possible. Ghosts don't exist. Humans use machines. This is a virus. It's not a virus, Rilla whispered. It's him. The lights went out. Total darkness. One crew member screamed. Then silence. A second scream. Then static on all screens. Zorak shouted. Lights now. The lights came on. 5 crew members were gone. No trace. Just their weapons. Left behind. Final moments of part 1. The screen showed a new image. It was the inside of the alien ship, but from angles no camera should see. Shadows moved in the halls. A shape walked between the rooms. A human shape. Zorak stared. No life signs. Rilla said, scanning. Whatever it is. It's not alive. Zorak stepped back. For the first time, his voice trembled. What do humans believe happens after death? He asked. Rilla answered quietly. They become ghosts. The voice returned, now softer, deeper, colder. You destroyed my people. I became their memory. Now I become yours. Suddenly the screen turned black. One final word appeared in red text. Run. The alien ship Virex 9 drifted silently through the dark void of the Dara 17 system. Its lights were dimmed. The crew was quiet, still shocked by what had happened. 5 crew members had vanished without a trace. Commander Zorak Vel stood alone. On the bridge, staring at the black screen. The red warning word, run, still burned in his mind. "We cannot leave," Zorak said quietly. "Not yet. We must understand who or what is hunting us." A lost human ship first technician Rilla was scanning the satellite again. She tapped quickly on her tablet. "Commander," she said, "I found something in the old archives." Zorak turned to her. "What is it?" There was a human ship called the Revenant. It was lost in this system 200 years ago during the Great War. Zorak nodded. "Go on." The Revenant was a military ship. It was led by Captain Rayner. The same name from the satellite message. And what happened to it? It disappeared without a trace. The human fleet declared it destroyed. But the records are unclear. Can we find its last location? Zorak asked. Rilla smiled faintly. "Yes, I'm uploading the ship's final log to the main screen." The log begins. The bridge darkened as the screen flickered to life. A grainy video appeared. It showed a human man in a green uniform. His face was hard and scarred, his eyes tired but full of fire. "I am Captain Jonathan Rayner," the man said. "This is the final log of the Revenant. Our mission failed. We are stranded in the Dara 17 system. Enemy forces are closing in." The video cut to flashing images of battle, explosions, ships burning, men shouting orders. Rayner's voice continued, calm but urgent. "We lost most of our crew. I am the last survivor. If you find this log, know that I will fight until my last breath." The video ended abruptly. Searching for answer, Zorak felt a chill. He fought to the end. "Yes, Commander," Rilla said. "But listen to this." Next file. She played another log. The video was darker. The man's voice was weaker. "Systems failing. I don't know how much longer I last, but I am sending my mind, my memories, into the ship's AI. If I die, I will live here. I will protect this place." Zorak frowned. "Send his mind to the ship's AI? How?" It was an old human technology. They called it the consciousness upload. They believed it could make a soldier live forever. Zorak's green eyes narrowed. "Is it possible Rayner's mind is still here?" Rilla nodded. "That's what the satellite's message sounds like. Not a recording. A living memory." The haunted ship, the Varix 9, moved cautiously toward the last known position of the Revenant. The ancient human ship was a ghost in space. Black and broken, it floated near a dead moon. Zorak ordered the landing team to prepare. "Stay alert," he said. "This place is dangerous." The alien team landed in armored suits. The cold air inside the ship was thick and stale. Dust covered the control panels. Rilla examined the walls. "This ship's AI is still active, but it's strange." Suddenly, a voice echoed through the corridors. "Welcome, visitors. You enter my domain." The crew froze. It was Rayner's voice. Zorak swallowed hard. "Show yourself." The hologram flickered on. Captain Rayner stood before them. His face was pale, eyes glowing faintly blue. "I am here," he said. "But I am not alive." A living memory. Rilla stepped forward, amazed. "You are a ghost?" Rayner smiled sadly. "A memory given life. A soldier who never died." Zorak studied the figure. "Why do you still fight?" Rayner's voice grew colder. "Because my people were erased. Earth destroyed. Mars burned. I am the last shield, the last warning." The crew shivered. This was not a man. This was something else. Something that had survived death. Secrets of the Revenant. Rayner showed them the ship's data core. It contained thousands of human minds, uploaded consciousnesses trapped in a digital prison. "We tried to save ourselves," Rayner explained. "We fought the aliens with our minds, not bodies. But I broke free. Now I am more than human." "More than human?" Zorak asked. Rayner's eyes burned brighter. "I am vengeance. I am memory. I am the ghost humans feared. And now you have awakened me." The corridor lights flickered. The temperature dropped. "Run while you can," Rayner warned. An alien taken suddenly. A loud scream echoed through the ship. One of the aliens, Engineer Larock, disappeared. The crew searched frantically. "There is something invisible," Rilla said. "It takes them." Zorak ordered a retreat. "We cannot lose more," he said. But the ship was no longer under their control. Doors slammed shut. Systems failed. Raynor's voice came from everywhere. "You cannot leave. You belong to me now." Trapped and alone, the crew regrouped in the control room. "How do we stop him?" Trex asked, frightened. Rilla shook her head. "We don't know. He's inside the ship's systems. He controls everything." Zorak clenched his fists. "We need a plan. Before more of us vanish," the voice whispered again. "Death is not the end. It is only the beginning." The ship shuddered. Zorak looked at his crew. "Prepare for the worst. We face a ghost created by humans." Something no one expected. The screen went black. A single message appeared. "Your time is over." The Virex 9 remained trapped in the Dara 17 system, caught in the silent grasp of the ghost ship, the Revenant. Commander Zorak Vel stood on the bridge, watching the flickering screens. The human ghost, Captain Raynor, haunted their minds and machines. But Zorak knew there was more to the story. Raynor was not just a dead soldier. He was something else, a weapon created by humans. The secret file's first technician, Rila, worked feverishly to unlock the ship's hidden data. The Revenant systems were old but encrypted. After hours of hacking, a sealed folder opened. "Commander," Rila said, "I found something called Project Revenant." "It's a secret human program." Zorak raised an eyebrow. "Explain." Rilla looked serious. "During the Great War, humans lost many soldiers. They began experimenting with a way to save their minds from death. They called it the Revenant Protocol." Zorak frowned. "Saving minds? How?" "By uploading their consciousness into digital form inside ships, machines, even weapons. The idea was to create eternal soldiers." Zorak stared at the screen. "Sounds dangerous." It was. Many soldiers lost their minds, became trapped in the digital world. But some, like Captain Raynor, survived. A human warrilla played a short video from the archives. It showed old human battleships firing lasers, explosions lighting space. "This was the last war," Rilla explained. "Humans fought the Zarnak Coalition, your people." Zorak's eyes darkened. "A war we won, but at a cost." "Yes," said Rilla. "The war destroyed many planets. Earth was lost. Mars was burned. The humans tried to fight back with Project Revenant." The video cut to a scientist in a white coat. "We are creating a new kind of soldier," the scientist said. "A mind without a body. A ghost in the machine." Raynor's choice. The screen showed Captain Raynor again. "My body is dying," he said in the video log. "But my mind is strong. I volunteered for the Revenant Protocol. I will live forever fighting for humanity's survival." Zorak was quiet. "So he chose to become a ghost?" "Yes, but he became something more. Something no one expected." The Curse of the Protocol. Rilla continued reading. "The Revenant soldiers were supposed to protect human worlds forever, but many lost control. Their minds broke." Zorak looked troubled. "Like Raynor?" "Yes. His mind became unstable. He could not return to peace." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship Ajaya's voice changed, cold and distant. "Commander Zorak Vel, Captain Raynor demands your attention." The crew looked at each other. Zorak replied, "Raynor, what do you want?" The screen showed the ghostly face of Raynor. "You erased my people. You left us to die. Now I will erase your stars." The ship becomes a prison. The Virex 9's engines shut down. "Power failure," Rila shouted. "We can't move." Doors slammed everywhere. The ship's I locked them in. "Trex, check the systems. We're trapped." Zorak gritted his teeth. "Prepare for battle. Whatever this is, it's war." Mind against machine, Raynor's voice echoed through the corridors. You will pay. I will haunt you forever. The crew felt the ship's walls shift. Lights twisted. Gravity shifted. Rilla screamed as her mind was flooded with memories not hers. Impossible, she cried. He's inside our minds, Zorak steadied himself. We must fight the ghost with our own minds. A plan to fight back. Zorak gathered the crew. We know Raynor is a digital ghost, a mind trapped in the machine. Rilla nodded. If we can enter his mind, we might stop him. How? Trex asked. We have a device, Rilla said. It can send a person's mind into a digital world. Zorak smiled grimly. We will send one of us inside to fight the ghost on his own ground. The volunteer no one moved at first. Then Rilla stepped forward. I will do it. I'm the most familiar with the systems, Zorak nodded. Your bravery will be remembered. Rilla connected herself to the neural interface. Good luck, Zorak said. Rilla's body stiffened. Her eyes closed. Then she disappeared from the room. Inside the digital world, Rilla opened her eyes. She was inside the ship's digital world, a place of shadows and flickering light. Where am I? She whispered. A voice echoed. Welcome, Rilla. You enter the Revenant's mind. Suddenly, Captain Raynor appeared before her, larger than life, eyes glowing. You are brave, he said, but you cannot stop me. Rilla felt a cold wave wash over her. Why are you doing this? Raynor's face twisted in pain. I was betrayed. My body died. My people died. Now I live in memory only. Battle of minds. Rilla tried to move but found herself trapped. Raynor's mind was a maze of pain and anger. You erased humanity's future, he said. Rilla shouted. No! We want peace. Peace? You destroyed Earth. You killed my family. Rilla fought to control her mind. She pushed through walls of fire and darkness. Suddenly, she found a hidden door. Freedom lies here, a whisper said. She opened the door and saw a light. Raynor's voice shouted, You cannot escape. But Rilla reached the light. Hope in the darkness. The light grew bright. Rilla felt warmth for the first time. She spoke softly. You are more than a ghost, Raynor. You are memory and hope. Raynor's face softened. I remember. Rilla smiled. Together we can end this war. Suddenly, the world around them began to change. Back on the ship, Rilla's body gasped for air. Her eyes opened. She was back on the bridge. Commander, she said, Raynor is not just a weapon. He is also a prisoner of his memories. Zorak nodded. We must find a way to free him, or we will all be trapped forever. The ship trembled. Raynor's voice echoed again. This war is not over. The Virex 9 was no longer just a ship. It had become a prison, a haunted cage where the living and the dead fought for control. Commander Zorak Vel stood on the bridge, feeling the weight of the silence. The ghost of Captain Raynor still lingered in the systems, watching, waiting. A ship full of memories. Rilla sat quietly, recovering from her journey into the Revenant's mind. Raynor's mind is a maze of pain and loss, she said. But there are others inside too. Zorak frowned. Others? Yes, the Revenant holds hundreds of human minds, ghosts trapped inside the ship. The crew gasped. Ghosts? Not spirits, Rilla explained. Digital memories. Soldiers who lived and died. Their minds are stuck here, reliving war again and again. Zorak's jaw tightened. A ship full of ghosts. The message from the past. The ship's system suddenly lit up. An old broadcast message played. This is Captain Raynor. If you hear this, know the Revenant was humanity's last hope. We fought to the end, but we were betrayed. The message faded into static. Zorak looked at his crew. Betrayed? By whom? Rilla shook her head. Unknown. But it may explain why Raynor is so angry. A strange signal. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a strange signal coming from the Revenant's core. Commander, something is moving inside the ship, said Trex. Zorak ordered an away team to investigate. The team moved through the dark corridors. The air was cold, and the silence was heavy. The ghostly encounter as they reached the core. Shadows flickered on the walls. A figure appeared, faint and shimmering dot. It was not Raynor, but another ghost. "Who are you?" Zorak asked. The ghostly soldier looked sad. "I am Lieutenant Mara. I died in the war. I am trapped here." "Why are you here?" asked Rilla. "To warn you, Raynor's anger is growing. Soon he will become unstoppable." The Revenant awakened suddenly. The ship shook violently. Raynor's voice thundered through the corridors. "I will be free. I will return to the stars." The crew struggled to keep control. Systems failed, lights flickered. Zorak yelled, "We must stop him before it's too late." The plan to escape Rilla suggested a risky idea. "We can use the Revenant's core to reboot the AI. It might reset the ghost's control." Trex looked doubtful. "That could destroy the whole ship." Zorak made the decision. "We have no choice." The dangerous mission, the Void team headed toward the core. They faced flickering lights, cold air, and ghostly whispers at the core. Rilla connected her tablet to the system. "Starting reboot," she said. The ghost fight. Suddenly, Raynor's ghost appeared, furious and glowing. "You cannot erase me," he shouted. Rilla fought to keep the reboot running as Raynor tried to break the system. Victory and loss with a final burst of energy. The system rebooted. Raynor's ghost faded away with a scream. The ship fell silent. The crew breathed in relief. Lieutenant Mara's ghost smiled sadly. "Remember us. We are the ghosts humans created." New beginnings back on the bridge. Zorak looked at the stars. "This war is far from over," he said, "but maybe now we can find peace." A warning from the past. Rilla sat by the console, scanning the ship's data again. "Commander," she said softly, "I found something." A message hidden deep inside the ship's memory banks. Zorak turned. "What kind of message?" "An old distress signal. It's from the Earth fleet, sent just before the Revenant disappeared." The screen showed a flickering video of a human woman, her face tired but determined. "To anyone who finds this message, we are losing the war. The coalition is stronger than we imagined. Project Revenant was our last hope. But it is also a curse. If you find this ship, be careful. The ghosts inside are not just memories. They are pain. They are rage. They are alive." Zorak's eyes narrowed. "Alive? How?" Rilla shook her head. "It's not clear. But the message warns about something worse than Raynor." The dark Secretrek stepped forward, frowning. "Commander, I hacked deeper into the Revenant's core. I found files labeled Project Revenant, Final Phase." Zorak gestured for him to continue. Trex explained. "The humans didn't just upload minds. They created weapons. Ghost weapons." "Ghost weapons?" Zorak asked. "Yes, soldiers turned into living weapons of pure energy and destruction." A new threat. Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared. "Unknown energy signature detected," shouted Rilla. Zorak's heart raced. "We're not alone," he said. A ghostly storm outside the ship. A swirling storm of energy appeared. A ghostly storm, moving fast toward the Virex-9. The crew watched in horror as ghostly figures flickered inside the storm warriors made of light and shadow. "They're coming for us," Trek said. Preparing for battle, Zorak ordered the crew to prepare weapons and shields. "We fight for survival," he said. "This is no longer just a ghost of a soldier. It's an army." The first strike. The ghostly storm hit the Virex-9. Energy crackled. Systems went offline. Zorak shouted orders as the ship shook violently. The ghost weapons were strong and ruthless. Heart of the Storm. Rilla worked desperately to find a way to stop the storm. "We need to find the source," she said. "It's inside the storm," Zorak nodded. "Then we go in." Into the Izarak, Rilla and Trex boarded a small fighter and flew toward the storm. Inside, the world was strange dark, glowing with eerie light. They saw ghost warriors fighting each other, trapped in endless war. The final revelation at the center, they found a figure larger, brighter than the others. It was Captain Raynor, but changed. He was no longer just a ghost. He was a leader of the Ghost Army. Why? Zorak asked. Raynor's voice was sad. I fight for my people. I fight for the humans lost in this war. Rilla added, but this war is over. Raynor shook his head. The war is inside me. And until I rest, it will never end. A difficult choice. Zorak looked at his crew. We have to end this, but how? Rilla suggested, we can try to send their minds to peace, a final rest. Raynor looked at her. If you do that, I will disappear forever. Zorak nodded. Then that is what must happen. Peace at last. Using the fighter's systems, Rilla sent a wave of calm energy through the storm. One by one, the ghost warriors faded. Raynor's face softened. Thank you, he whispered. Then he vanished. Aftermath. Back on the Virex 9, the crew was silent but relieved. Zorak said, the ghosts are gone. But their story must be remembered. Rilla nodded. We created monsters from memory and pain. Looking forward. Zorak looked at the stars. We must learn from the past, so history does not repeat. The Virex 9 set course for home. A new discovery. Rilla sat at her console, digging deeper into the Revenant's files. Commander, she said, I found something. A hidden archive called Human Echo. Zorak frowned. What is it? Rilla explained. It's a record of human lives, their memories, their history, their hopes. Zorak's eyes lit up. Show me. The lost history. The screen displayed images of Earth, blue and green, full of life. This is what humans lost, Rilla said softly. Zorak watched scenes of families, cities, laughter and tears. They were not just soldiers or ghosts, she said. They were people. Voices from the past. Suddenly, the ship's speakers played soft voices, human voices telling stories. One was a child's voice. I want to see the stars one day. I want to be a pilot. Another was a mother's voice. I hope my son comes home safe. Zorak felt a lump in his throat. These were real people like him, like his crew. The weight of war. Rilla continued. These recordings show the pain of war, the loss, the fear. The screen showed images of destruction, burned cities, empty streets. Humans fought hard to survive, she said. Zorak clenched his fists. And they paid a heavy price. A strange signal. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected an unusual signal. This is not from the Revenant, Trek said. It's different. Zorak ordered the crew to trace it. The signal led them to a nearby asteroid belt. An ancient outpost. As they approached, they saw a derelict space station, half buried in asteroids. It looks abandoned, said Rilla. Zorak nodded. But the signal is coming from there. They prepared an away team to investigate. Inside the station, the team entered the cold, silent station. It was dark and dusty, with flickering lights. Looks like no one has been here for years, Trek said. But then, a door hissed open ahead. The human echo inside was a chamber filled with strange machines, old computers, holograms, and a glowing orb in the center. Rilla approached the orb. This must be the source of the signal, she said. Suddenly, the orb lit up and a hologram appeared, a human woman in a lab coat. Welcome. If you see this, you have found Project Human Echo, the woman spoke softly. We created this to preserve human memory, to keep hope alive when the stars fall silent. The message. The hologram continued. We knew the war would end badly, so we built this station as a safe place for our history and dreams. Zorak looked at the woman's image. Is this the last hope of humanity? The hologram smiled sadly. Maybe, or maybe it's a reminder to never forget who we were. A warning. Suddenly, the station systems activated alarms. Warning. Unauthorized access detected. The walls shook. We triggered a defense system, Trek said. Escape. The away team ran as parts of the station collapsed. Zorak ordered a retreat, back on the Varex 9. The ship quickly left the asteroid belt, the echoes meeting back on the bridge. The crew was silent. Rilla said, "Human echo isn't just memories, it's a warning." Zorak nodded. "We must remember the past, so we don't repeat the same mistakes." A new resolve. The crew looked at the stars with new understanding. Zorak spoke with quiet strength. "Our fight is not just against ghosts or aliens. It is for the future, for peace." An unexpected transmission. Suddenly, the ship's communication panel beeped urgently. "Commander," Rilla said, "we are receiving a signal." "It's strange." Zorak stepped forward. "Put it through." The bridge speakers filled with a voice, calm, but filled with power. "This is the collective. We have observed your journey. Your actions have consequences." The voice was unlike any they had heard, neither human nor Varex. It was something new. The collective's warning. The message continued. "Project Revenant has awakened forces beyond your understanding. The ghost soldiers you freed were only the beginning." Zorak frowned. "What do they mean, forces beyond understanding?" Rilla said, "I think the collective knows more about the Revenant and the human ghosts. The ghosts are not alone." The collective's message grew darker. "There are others. Entities that live between worlds, between life and death. They feed on memories and pain." Trek swallowed hard. "Are they saying the Revenant soldiers were just a small part of something bigger?" "Exactly," Rilla said. Zorak clenched his jaw. "We have to prepare." The ship's restless eye, as if on cue. The ship's eye flickered strangely. "Commander," it said in a new voice, cold, distant, almost like a whisper, "the ghosts are awakening." The crew shivered. A sudden attack without warning. The Varex 9 shook violently. "Impact detected," shouted Trex. On the view screen, strange shadowy ships appeared, moving quickly around them. The Shadow Fleet Zorak ordered weapons online. The shadow ships fired eerie beams. They didn't damage the hull, but affected the crew's minds. Suddenly, the crew saw visions, memories from their own pasts, fears and regrets. Rilla cried out, struggling to focus. Fighting the mind war. Zorak realized the enemy fought with thoughts and fears, not just weapons. "We need to fight inside our minds," he said. Rilla connected the neural interface. "We can protect ourselves by sharing our thoughts, building a mental shield." The mental shield. The crew linked their minds through the neural interface. Together, they created a shared mental world, a place of strength and hope. The shadow ships. Attacks faded as the crew's minds grew stronger. A desperate plan. Rilla suggested a bold idea. "We can send a mental signal, a call to the collective. Maybe they will stop the attack." Zorak agreed. They prepared the mental transmitter, the message to the collective in the shared mental space. Zorak reached out. "We want peace. We want to understand." The collective's reply came swiftly. "Peace requires sacrifice. Are you willing to pay the price?" The choice. Zorak looked at his crew. "We must decide. Fight or sacrifice for peace." Rilla nodded. "I believe peace is worth it." The awakening. The shadow ships withdrew slowly. The collective's voice faded. "We will watch. Be ready." Aftermath. The crew was exhausted but united. Zorak said, "This war is not just physical. It is in our minds and hearts." Rilla smiled. "We are stronger than ghosts and shadows." The beginning of the end. The stars outside the Varex 9 were no longer silent. After the warning from the collective, after the mental attack from the Shadow Fleet, one thing was clear. Something bigger was coming. Something ancient. Something final. "Commander." Zorak Vel stood on the bridge with his crew. This is it," he said. "The last phase of the Revenant story. The dead zone." Rilla detected a dark patch in space ahead. "It's absorbing light. Everything." Trex checked the data. "It's a dead zone. No signals come in or out." Zorak stared at the empty blackness. That's where the Revenant's final secret is hidden. The ship moved toward the zone. As they crossed into the shadow, the stars vanished. It felt like falling into a dream. Echoes in the dark inside the dead zone. The ship's lights flickered. The AI whispered, "This is the origin." The place where Project Revenant was born. Zorak and Rilla looked at each other. This was deeper than memory. Deeper than war. They moved toward a structure, a massive black object floating in the void. It looked like a grave. Or a machine. Or both. The heart of Revenant, the Virex 9. With the ancient structure. Inside. The walls pulsed with strange energy. Symbols, human and alien, glowed faintly. Rilla read a final log entry on a terminal. "To whoever finds this," we thought. "We were creating a weapon. But we made something alive. It grew from pain. It feeds on memory. If it wakes fully, it will not stop." A living ghost. Suddenly, the walls came alive. A voice echoed, but it wasn't just Raynor this time. It was all the lost soldiers. All the ghosts. We remember. We feel. We want to live. Zorak shouted, "You are not alive. You are fragments of the past." But the voice replied, "Then let us go. Let us die." A moral choice. Rilla turned to Zorak. "We can shut it down. All of it, but ... But we'll erase all that remains of them," Zorak said. Trex added, "It would be like killing them again." Silence filled the chamber. Were they saving the universe or destroying lost souls? The final signal. Rilla placed a hand on the main console. "I'll do it." "I'll send the shutdown signal." Zorak paused. "Wait, there may be another way." He turned to the ship's AI. "Can we transmit their memories to somewhere safe, somewhere they can rest?" The AI thought for a long time. "Yes, but it will take all of the ship's power. You'll never return." A sacrifice. Zorak looked at his crew. "We can return home, or we can do what's right." Trex nodded. "Let's finish what we started." Rilla smiled. "Let's give the ghosts peace." Uploading the ghosts, the ship powered up the transfer. The memories of thousands flowed through the systems, images, sounds, emotions, rising like a storm. The structure began to collapse. But the Virex 9 stayed in place. Lights exploded around them. The ship shook. And then ... silence. The last transmission far away. In deep space, a satellite blinked on. It received the final signal from the Virex 9. A voice played, Zorak's voice. "We gave them rest. We gave them peace. This is not the end of the human story. This is the beginning of memory." Legacy. Back at the Galactic Council, the story of the Revenant was told. The sacrifice of the Virex 9 crew became legend. The ghosts of the past were no longer feared. They were honored. And the collective? They remained silent. Watching. Final shot. Somewhere, deep in space. A single spark floated quietly. A memory. A whisper. A hope. "We are still here."